Hey everyone, and welcome to Almost Cancelled. I am Peter, that is Connor, and we are going to talk about The Flash, Season 3, Episode 17. It's called Duet. Full spoilers for the episode, as always. So this is the musical crossover episode with Supergirl, which was set up last night, where Music Meister did his thing, put Kara in a trance, sent her into a musical world, and then Mon-El and Jean showed up in this episode as Flash, brought her in a coma, then Music Meister showed up again, put Flash in a whammy, and lo and behold, both our characters are in a musical wonderland where, in order to escape this reality, this dream, if you will, they have to complete the script of the musical. First things first, right? So there was a line early on from Flash about "Who are you?" to Mon-El, which was amusing because we don't really like Mon-El that much now.
Yeah.
However, how does any of them know who Jean is? Jean, I want to point out, Jean was not there when Flash went to Supergirl last season.
No.
He never met him there.
I'm perhaps wondering if during the last crossover, if Kara mentioned John, but not Mon-El. I can't remember it well enough.
I mean, I can buy the Jean knows a fair amount about this stuff because Kara probably just mentioned it between episodes.
Yeah,
that's fine. I can accept that.
Yeah.
It was the way he made a specific dig about not knowing who Mon-El was. I'm like, but how do you know who Jean is?
Yeah, but they clearly didn't know everything about him. So because that led to a cool as shit moment.
Yes, they did not know he was a Martian because when he Martianed up and everyone was like, "Whoa, you're green and get a cape," Cisco was very impressed. I loved that Caitlin walked in and was like, "Oh," because she had something to say, but she sort of had to stop and go, "Hello,"
yeah,
and then continue with what she was saying. Yeah, actually, probably one of my favourite little callbacks in this is they remembered that Caitlin had heard Barry sing in season 1 because she references it when they're all talking about how good a singer he is at the end. So that was cool. Fair. As for the actual musical portion, which is the bulk of the episode, it's the majority of it.
Yeah.
As for that, so they're obviously themselves. They don't have the powers, but other people start showing up. Conveniently, the actors who can sing show up in random roles.
I'm okay with that because it's the option of you stick it to just the people who are in mainly their shows, or you go for the ones with the talent. And honestly, I prefer this option. I'd rather have the ones with the talent than the ones that make more sense.
It's fair. It's one of those things about musicals. Well, that's not one of the things that's usually in a musical, but it's added on to that idea that musicals take me out of what's going on because it's breaking the fourth wall.
We should actually mention this in general. Like, as I'm a big fan of musicals, and you are not.
I am not. No.
I love musicals. Like Wizard of Oz, West Side Story. Those are things I grew up on. Like I love them to bits.
Like that.
So this made me happy.
You have something in common with Barry then.
Yeah, pretty much.
So that is fair. However, I will say this. I enjoyed the episode for the most part, right? It was fun. The songs, right? This is the thing with me and my general opinion of musicals. This was not as fun as the Buffy musical for a couple of reasons. One, all the Buffy songs were original. They were all singing about what they were and what they were doing and what they were going through. It was all very specific and very pinpointed. Yeah. They were written to advance the plot specifically. That's not to say that you can't do that with a source song, but it's not as exact and it's not as...
Yeah. Well, I mean, this had 2 original songs out of the 5, 6?
What was the second one? Obviously, Super Friends was the...
Super Friends and the one Barry sang at the end to Iris. That was done by the lyricists who did La La Land.
All right, okay. All right.
Yeah.
I just thought I assumed that was a real song.
No, that's
he had
original
picked.
For this.
He had picked because it involved running, and it was a on the nose, the Flash thing. Right. Here's the thing, right? So Super Friends was definitely the most fun I had with any of the songs. I didn't really care for the tap dancing bollocks.
This was the one by the crazy ex-girlfriend woman, which obviously also on CW, and
Fair.
maybe more interested in watching it.
Sure, I'm good, but so like. That song was fun because they kept dropping jokes, they kept dropping in lines. There was all the punchlines to the rhyming parts were all funny. They were all
Barry's
related.
Superman thing.
Yeah, the Barry Superman joke where he's sort of doing an impression, even though like So you two have been talking on your communicator between episodes because you know way more about her world than you should from what we've seen. Fine, but that was funny. All the little things when he ends a line on "I'll be there on the Flash," and she's sort of like, Barry, come on.
Yeah.
Like,
it's like when he rhymes with friendship, and she's like, yeah, well, it's the obvious rhyme.
that stuff was fun, but for me, and this just goes to me not liking musicals, is whenever they get past that and it just went to the chorus and they were singing and dancing in between the funny parts, I was like, whatever.
I was having a lot of fun with it.
It was see the song at the end. So Barry, once they're out in the real world, Barry, because the whole point of the musical part of the episode is that both Barry and Kara learn, and sure enough, Iris and Monel both show up in the musical world as a couple. They're together as different people in this thing, and they're both disgusted by it and whatever. But the whole point is that they learn and from Barry's point of view, I like that he learns that he should stop being an idiot, and if he's in love, he should just embrace the love and not stop treating it with kid gloves and like, what she might die if I blah, blah.
This all of it is about them dealing with their breakups.
Yeah, Kara's side is a bit more
I'm not
annoying.
as happy with that one, I'll be honest. That is my biggest negative with the episode.
Because I don't think she should forgive him, and I don't think he ever earned her, like, not love.
No,
but...
and then obviously it ends with them kind of together again, and I'm like,
don't get me wrong, I enjoy her threatening to drop a mountain on him. I enjoy that, absolutely. But because we are not buying that relationship, and because we've said from the start he doesn't really feel like he's earned her attention, because he just kept doing the same thing over, and it was almost like she just gave in and relented and like, oh yeah, I guess I like you now.
Yeah.
So we've never been on it, and then her forgiving him and realising, oh, I should forgive you.
It feels especially cheap after the whole point of last night's Supergirl was whether or not she would learn that lesson through Wynn's plot in that episode. And the ending, she decided, no, I do not come to that conclusion the same as you do. I make my own decision. It's not that, and I really like that decision.
Yeah, I really like that as well. I like that it's like you're given the clear example that says you should do this, but then you go, wait a minute, no, there's different levels. It's not just black and white. There are different shades of grey, and for me, this is beyond the line. This is beyond the line where it's in the dark.
Exactly. But then this episode, it kind of just undoes all the good that the end of that did for me, which is really disappointing.
Yeah, it's a shame. So that is absolutely the worst part, is that. Because as much as I am not fond of the extended singing and dancing stuff, like, it's doing what it's supposed to do. It's not...
Yeah, it's pleasing the people who want it, like me.
That said, the one problem I did have is, again, the song at the end with Barry. So in the real world, Barry goes to re-propose to Iris, right?
Yeah.
In the musical world, I was fine. When it happened here, now I don't have a problem with him singing. I actually kind of like the idea that he's like, okay, I'm good at singing, I'm going to sing her a song, and he
it's very romantic, isn't it?
That's fine, very romantic, fine. But it does that thing where it starts to sound like a music video. It doesn't sound like it's in the scene.
No, it did, and that was a problem. It was less noticeable in the music world because they were in big halls, big rooms where you cover it all.
But it was fine because it's supposed to be a musical they're in.
Exactly. This one, I wish they could have just matched the reverb to the room. It's not a hard thing. Like they could have just gone, hey, let's just pull this in, make it seem like it's in this scene. And it was particularly jarring when he started speaking at the end, and the difference was so drastic.
Yeah, it is a big problem I have in musicals. I really don't like it. From the one episode I tried of Glee, yeah, I tried an episode of Glee. Let that sink in.
I watched like a season and a half of Glee.
I was never getting that far, but it was that obvious, music video feel. Whenever it didn't feel like they were singing in the room, it felt like, oh no, this is pre-recorded and they're miming to it.
Interestingly, I pointed that out with one particular person in the Beauty and the Beast review earlier.
Oh, that's a little plug. Yeah, Matt and Cora reviewed Beauty and the Beast. That review's up. You can check that out. I didn't see it because obviously,
why would he?
The actual scene itself was romantic and fine, and I thought her reactions to everything he was doing was nice, because we like Barry and Iris being together. They should be together, and it was romantic. That's cool, but it did go on a bit long. Is my other point I was going to make about it. Is there was a point where I legitimately thought the song had finished, and there was a pause, and then he started singing again. And I was like, oh god, no, that was the end point for me. Stop it. Because we were already sitting at the window, and he let a note ring out, and I thought the music was just going to wind down from there. And then they kept going for another good 30 seconds or something like that.
I had no problem with that whatsoever.
Yeah, the first song didn't go on too long actually. I thought that was because it bounced around several cast members. We got to see Win sing, we got to see Cisco sing, and it bounced around them. And,
But I mean, that's the second song really, because the first one you have Kara doing Moon River.
oh, but she's on a stage with a mic. That's different.
Oh, okay, fine.
She's on a stage with a mic. That's completely different. That is in scene singing.
Okay, fine.
And again, that's almost worth it for her reaction that Barry's watching her mid song.
Yeah. Also, the episode was worth it for that alone because Melissa Benoist is fantastic, and I'd just watch her sing for 40 minutes instead, quite happily.
No, I need a plot. Thanks. I need a plot. Don't get me wrong. I thought Win had a really good voice. They were all doing those fake accents. Even Iris wasn't singing, but she was doing the accent. I thought she was.
Yeah, it's like New York Italian mobster.
Yeah, that kind of thing. Capiche was the exact word she used at one point.
Yeah.
It's
fun.
Yeah, it was fun. I'm a little disappointed that Joe wasn't around for the Martian Manhunter turning. His reaction to that might have been gold.
Yeah, you're right. It'll be like you know in the previous crossovers where Diggle comes and he sees stuff for the first time. Yeah. His reactions were always the best. I think Joe would have been that for this.
Yeah, that would have been funny. Also, HR jumping in and Barry's like, I'm not the only good singer. And he's talking about Carol, obviously, and Barry's like, oh, thanks, BA.
Yeah.
It was fun. It was a fun episode. My problems with it mainly stem from the... And the funny thing is, I don't think the actual problems with the Supergirl relationship are actually evident in this episode. If you hadn't been watching Supergirl and you just seen this part of it, I don't think you'd have a problem. All the problems come from that we know how they got together, and we know what Mon-El's been like.
That said... If you hadn't been watching Supergirl, I feel like a lot of this would not have been as enjoyable. I mean, if you don't have any context for any of this relationship, why are you supposed to care?
No,
it doesn't like you say, for us, it's not that bad, but it doesn't give anyone any reason to care about it either.
Yeah, sure.
I don't know. I just thought it's one of those things with the crossover, isn't it? You have to do one way, go all in.
I don't think you can criticise it for that, though.
You can't.
I think it's pointless. I actually think I'd be annoyed if they spent all that extra time wasting minutes trying to introduce the elements to a new person. No, this is for people who watch both shows and they get to enjoy it. And if you just watch The Flash, you can enjoy Barry's stuff in it and just deal with that. And maybe you'll be tempted to go check out Supergirl or something.
But you should.
And you probably will be tempted because the fight scene with Kid Flash, Martian Manhunter, and Cisco going out to get the Meister, pretty damn cool. Martian Manhunter teaming up with them was badass. Cisco vibing him through the air to punch him, and then Kid Flash punching him.
So that's Kid Flash's slow-mo punch, where it was, the camera was directly at him as it was coming towards it.
And plus, this is the first time I think we've heard Kid Flash's theme. It was when he was zooming around the city, and it was a real shot.
I really enjoyed Music Meister's theme. I forgot to mention it last night because we did hear it at the end of Supergirl. I love how the start of it is basically the Rogues theme. And then it plays into this like a Pied Piper-esque sort of piece.
I'm not going to lie, I didn't notice his theme.
Oh, okay.
I don't necessarily mean that as a criticism, but
I guess it was there a good handful of times.
I guess it kind of is a lukewarm criticism because I didn't notice it, so therefore, it didn't stick out to me. But whatever. He was fine. I kind of liked it was almost a twist that he wasn't actually evil. Like he was just trying to help almost.
The implication I got is he's from the same place as Mixie.
I get that feeling because Supergirl even has a little reference. She's like, "Oh, I'm sick of these magic-y people," or whatever she says.
Yeah.
I could see it. You almost wish that she'd asked him, like, "Do you know Mixie-Pitalik?"
Yeah.
Do you know him? He's like, Mixie, that bastard. He's my second cousin.
They definitely feel like they could be related.
Yeah, just Mixie's more about chaos and Meister's more about, I don't know, teaching lessons.
Yeah, exactly.
Through song and dance. It was fun. Some of the songs went a bit too long, and obviously I don't like what it's done to the Mon-El relationship stuff to Supergirl, but other than that, it was fun.
That is my only complaint, that Mon-El. So this is one of my favourite episodes of The Flash this season because I just had so much fun watching it.
But there you go. That's this episode of The Flash. Let us know what you thought of it in the comments below. like and subscribe and all that stuff. Helps us out a lot. Guys on Twitter at mailed_fuzz for channel updates. Individual Twitters on the screen for general everyday ramblings. Thanks for watching, guys, and we will see you next time.